Hello, hello, hello. Wait a minute. Hello, 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 hello. This is Rich Gale here on YouTube, Rich Gen X elsewhere. And it is time to start a new game. That's right, a new story. As we play Sherlock Holmes The Awakened in the Reboot timeline. Oh, we're still afraid of water. Oh, damn. Yes, it's a new mystery. A remake of the same game in the original timeline. Shadow over London. And you can bet that we're Baker Street. You can bet we're going to have a lot of references to Lovecraftian stories in this.
Dr. Watson, would you kindly close the door behind you so that we can limit the price of your carelessness to merely hours of work rather than days?
My apologies, Mr. Holmes. I found myself rather taken aback. I saw tidier houses in war-torn Afghanistan. Are those my surgical needles?
I ran out of tacks and the matter required immediate attention.
Was that my supper?
Plainly not, for I was the one who ate it.
I set it aside for this evening.
And for that I am grateful.
Is that my bed?
Watson, since you've proven yourself a master of observation, might I ask you to apply your skills to a more pertinent question? Namely, the whereabouts of today's newspapers. They are the key to everything. The newsboy is usually reliable.
Medically speaking, I often find that the key to everything is good sleep. In a bed. Your papers are here, on the table.
Oh.
Let us see what the postman brought today.
Yeah. Oh. London Advertiser, September 28th, 1882. Tensions between England and Sweden are running high after a series of unfortunate mishaps during a recent visit to London by Swedish Princess Hildur. Chief among the scandal was the embarrassment of the British diplomatic corps as a result of the unexplained disappearance of Princess Hildur's personal bodyguard. The longtime member of her inner circle took the opportunity to explore London while off duty and never returned from his late-night promenade. Spokesman for the police assures the Advertiser that they are confident the bodyguard will be located as he is a striking representative of the Scandinavian people. A man like that gets noticed whether by his peers at the gentlemen's club or at the fair nightingales who comfort them.
Local gossip, all of it uninteresting.
Oh, I don't know about that, Sherlock. That one sounded... Oh.
Your order from Barnes' bookshop has arrived, Doctor.
Barnes insists on delivering the books to our door, even though we could easily walk to his shop. That's good service.
Yeah, that is actually decent service. Ooh, is this a letter?
Another letter from Werner. I never reply, but they keep coming.
Nice little nod to the last game.
I don't see the Strand. Where is it?
Pardon me?
I am on the precipice of uncovering a pattern of crime across London spanning many months and involving many men. The missing paper cannot be a coincidence.
That's preposterous.
My dear fellow, life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man can invent.
Well, life used your newspaper to wipe its posterior, so after that unpleasant discovery this morning, I disposed of it. But in lieu of the Strand, perhaps I can deliver you something equally tantalizing. I have just returned from a patient of mine, Captain Stemwick, who...
No, that will not do. Grab your coat, Dr. Watson. Let us hope nobody has collected the dustbin.
The Strand is missing! Oh. Ah. Ah! Okay, there's what I'm looking for. Movement, analyze surroundings, sprint, rate trigger, concentration. Nice to know! What's this? Oh, this is something that I can unlock? Interesting. I have nothing here. We have a mystery we must solve. Look at all this. These are all outfits I have access to. I think that's for a reference to the Sherlock. You know, look at all this that we have here. It's a rainy day. Why not dress for something more appropriate? Oh! Oh! Of course, it's going to tell me where we're at. This is cool. All right. Game saves automatically, but make saves of your own. That's always wise advice. What's this?
A cactus spine. If it gets in your skin, it's awfully tricky to remove, and when laced with poison, the perfect assassination tool.
Well,
You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. It's potting soil. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison me.
Poison? You? That's madness.
Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here.
ah, Wiggins! Is that Wiggins?
Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I just sold my last paper.
Blast. Then why are you still here?
Boss pays by the hour. No sense in returning early.
You're a bright child. I presume you see everything that goes on around here?
Nothing gets past me, mister.
Then tell me, did you notice anyone suspicious at my door this morning?
Like the man with your newspaper?
Precisely. What do you know?
I know the value of a shilling.
Dr. Watson?
Sure, now I can take the day off.
Did you see what he was up to?
Nah, not really. I saw him approaching your house, but I had a customer. Then there's a loud bang. I ducked down. Not because I was scared, because I wasn't. I had to protect the merchandise, and all I could see was him kneeling at your door.
Which way did he go?
Not sure. I was distracted by customers. Sorry.
Can you describe the man you saw?
He was carrying a lot of books. Up to his chin they were.
Never heard of a well-read assassin.
Looks can deceive. Hence the appeal of disguises. All right. You earned your shilling. That'll be all.
Thanks, Mr. Holmes. Maybe I could be your eyes and ears, if you have more shillings.
Okay.
Get the Strand! Get your copy of the Strand here!
So now we have some information. Cactus eye, potentially poisoned. Oh! Said the suspicious man was carrying a stack of books, and this morning Mr. Barnes, the local bookseller, delivered a novel to Watson. A cactus spine for assassination, a loud bang, a visit to Mr. Barnes is in order.
From that, Mr. Holmes, murder? Yes, Barnes has his quirks, but he also has his scruples.
Not every pawn knows its
Get the
part of the game.
Strand! Get your copy of the Strand here! Get the Strand! Get your copy of the Strand here!
So, we have to find Barnes, the bookseller. Ah! There it is. Barnes' bookseller. Interesting. Alright. You know, before I go any farther, I want to check my cases and all that. Just to bring that up again, because I want to make sure I'm... Tracks through a gate, so I'm a little early yet. Alright, let's go in. Oh, this is a nice little... This is a nice little recreation of it. If not from, There's Watson. See, if I remember right, in the original game, you had to solve something. So let's observe. Bags under the eyes. Effects of overwork. Newspaper ink. Oh. Yeah. That's definitely newspaper ink. Leans heavily on his right leg. Sore left leg. So he... Oh! He banged into the damn... High heels. Wants to look taller. So he stumbled. Barnes has large bags under his eyes, the result of poor sleep and stress. He has developed a link likely the result of an attack. He wears high heels to look taller, stronger, to deter future violence. See, I think he's more of a workaholic. I don't think he's a blackmail victim. Of course, I could be wrong. And of course, I'm not going to rule out that I'm wrong about that. Because I'm not going to rule it out. In the original, I don't think he was part of any, you know, so we got that. Yeah, I think he's more of a workaholic, to be honest. I'd be a workaholic if I owned a bookshop. Mr. Barnes has developed a limp and large result of long hours of intense work. He's not very confident and tries to appear taller by wearing high heels. Seems unlikely.
Mr. Barnes, a word. Oh, for goodness sake.
What is he doing?
Who goes there?
Sherlock Holmes. Now will you please?
Mr. Holmes. Golly, I did not see you coming.
Well, I believe
Would you
that.
care to answer some questions for me?
Well, I wish I could, but I am deep in the weeds with work. How about we reschedule in a month or two?
Come now, Mr. Barnes. It will only take a moment.
Really deep in the weeds with important things. Well, help yourself to any book. Just take it and pay later. I trust you, Mr. Holmes.
Barnes doesn't seem like himself. Why is he acting this way?
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to coax him out. The ladder is broken recently, judging by the freshness of the wood.
Well, broken ladder, that's something.
So, Barnes has a dog now. Who's a good boy?
So, what's this?
I could hardly imagine anything more macabre.
Oh, there's some stuff here. What's this? A catalog of exotic plants on Barnes's counter. The name of the catalog reads Everlasting Plants for an Everlasting Love. He's sweet on somebody, Holmes. What's this?
Basics of cryptoanalysis, cryptography in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby.
Nice. So, we learn he has a hobby. Let's see. And what's this? The that was in our last game.
In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. I wonder who the recipient is. The finest view London has to offer.
Yeah. But I think it's a little bit more than that, Sherlock.
An improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible.
Oh. It does. So, So what do we have? Barnes. Why is Barnes acting so strangely? But this is right. I think, I do think that our next answer is with this lady across the street. And I think that's part of it. Spooky! Oh, look at this Scooby. So this is the lady we're talking to. Holmes! Stop walking. Watson, stop walking. Now you just do it this way.
The weather is dreary, isn't it? To be fair, my flowers could use the rainfall.
Okay.
I should have worn something warmer. People don't tend to come out for flowers when it rains. Perhaps I should try selling door to door.
What's this?
Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses?
Our national emblem. God save the Queen.
God save the Queen! Yes.
The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something.
There's something more here, I think.
Familiar spine. Is this what I found in my dustbin?
Interesting. So now we have,
It must take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them. Anything tickle your fancy, Mr. Holmes?
Okay. Let's see. Voitor is distracted. Luxury fabric. Look, usually worn. That's pretty nice. Mourning brooch, honoring deceased husband. Oh, it's a sad thing. Wearing makeup for beauty or concealment. Yeah, you don't want to show somebody's crying, you know. Clean boots. Change shoes upon arrival. Okay. So we got two different. Well, yeah. That is not suitable for her. Her shoes show no trace of mud. She must have changed. Yeah. Cherishes the memory of her husband. Trying to move on. Yeah. That does sound right. Can be very hard to move on from the loss of a loved one. Spouse. Trust me, I know.
Mrs. Fleming, you look particularly lovely today. Is there a reason?
Does a woman need a reason to look or feel beautiful?
No, but your distant look suggests you seek one man's gaze in particular.
Who told you that?
Nobody. Merely a keen eye and some simple deduction.
Well, I'll kindly ask you to keep your keen eye to yourself, Mr. Holmes.
Uh-huh. No, I got roses for sale. No, I don't think that's anything. Cactus in a cracked pot.
One of these things is not like the other.
Come again?
The cactus. Those fearsome spines can prove a devil to remove, and the sap is often toxic.
And a rose thorn can give you tetanus, but we still grow them. The cactus seems comparatively harmless, though you have me thinking it must be valuable.
I was under the impression that you knew its price already.
Your guess is as good as mine. The first time I saw this cactus was when I came back from my break.
Oh. Oh. Dead flowers on display.
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Well, they could use a bit of water.
Do they mean anything to you?
Mean anything how? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Holmes.
Why do you think they're there?
Are you suggesting the flowers are for me?
It seems likely, does it not?
Oh, I hope you're right.
Aha!
Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Yes. No, not really. Well, in a way.
What on earth does that mean?
I know who he is, of course, but we haven't shared much more than a look.
A look?
Yes. Each morning I go for a walk in the park with my dog, and most days I spot Mr. Barnes there with his new puppy, so we see each other. Actually, we once met briefly while our dogs played. He was quiet and seemed unsteady as he approached, but since then, we've never spoken. I often see him staring through the shop window. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks about that would etch such longing onto his face.
Wow. Well, looks like we found out something, Watson. So let's take all this. Yeah, I think she's trying to get... Here's what I think happened. Here's what I'm thinking. Dead flowers on display. Yes, that is a very key thing. No. So, oh, Mr. Barnes is in love. Barnes displays a bouquet of dead flowers to attract the attention of Miss Fleming, a florist. He may hope she will come into his shop and give him watering advice, or it could simply be a symbol of his desperation. Mr. Barnes anonymously gifted her a cactus, which he ordered from the catalog on his counter. A questionable choice, but for Barnes a symbol of his eternal love, since the catalog presents the cacti as immortal. Plainly, this is the same cactus he dropped on the Strand outside of 221B Baker Street. Now to hear the full story. You know what? It makes sense. Okay.
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Do not despair, Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes.
Yes.
We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
Yes. You're right, John. 2 books for the price of 1. Edgar Allan Poe. Better than helping to sort his books out, I tell you that. Hey, puppy!
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. I can't hear you very well from behind the door.
You ordered a cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it for Mrs. Fleming as a gift. You place flowers in the window to get her attention and wear high heels to appear taller and more desirable. You are her secret admirer. I couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand because it was covered in soil and spines. I know you dropped a cactus on it and then fled.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in disclosing your personal affairs to anyone, including Mrs. Fleming. Please come out.
Yeah.
All right, then.
So, you know what happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus in your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of your romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
Oh,
As in most things in life, truth is the answer. Cease with the obtruse signals and anonymous gifts, and simply talk to the woman. What is
Yeah.
the worst that can happen? She rejects you, and you are freed from this endless purgatory.
That... Yes, you are correct, of course. I do have a slight tendency to overthink things.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
at last, we return to the matter of the paper. I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and.
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper.
Okay. Hey, we got an achievement. Saltpeter explosion rocks docks. Locals at the Port of London had a rude awakening last night, with loud bangs and thick red smoke disturbing the peace. Merchant ship Moskva had docked at Pier N3 in the early evening, en route to Europe, when it was rocked by several concussive explosions. The Port Authority is yet to comment on the incident, and it is unknown if any crew members were on board at the time. Eyewitnesses report seeing saltpeter leaking into the river, but with the area still off limits to workers and the public, it may be some time before we have a full account of what transpired.
Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell, Mr. Barnes. I hope to hear good news about you and Mrs. Fleming.
So, I got something for all that. Nice. Oh, and that's a fast travel point now? Nice. So what we get? We got something... Oh, Cordona... The Cordona suit. Cordona suit, no jacket. What was that other thing that I got? Oh! So that's what I unlocked? Wow. But what's this then? Oh, those are... Oh, now I see. Well, that's an interesting little... That's an interesting little thing. What an amazing find, you know? And I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a cutscene. And what we'll do is we're going to call it an episode after that. This one might take a shorter time to get through than the previous one. Than Chapter 1, but, you know... Hey, that's supposed to be New Orleans in that cutscene. Ain't that neat?
Well, that was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No. Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition. And that perhaps, if ill-applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes. It is London. There will always be burglaries. Doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me. Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one.
Truly?
Indeed. Though perhaps not as thrilling as your stories from Cordona. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes, I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career. But...
It's brilliant. Let's go.
Oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.
Well, what do you know? Stenwick's mansion. Okay, so... This way? So we'll head to the mansion. You know, okay. Oh, this is it. This is the place. Oh, this
Not much
looks,
further now.
looks so much better than in the original. And I think this is a very good place to save the game. Because this is where the trace truly begins. And I hope you've enjoyed this so far as we start our case with the Awakened. Again. As always, this is Rich Kale here on YouTube, Rich Gen X elsewhere. I invite you to subscribe to the channel and check out all the other playthroughs and that I've been working on throughout the time I've been on YouTube. I have videos that premiere every week at 3 p.m. where I'm working through various games and franchises. Besides the Sherlock Holmes series, I am working my way through Descent, working my way through Vampire, working my way through the Bioshock series, currently on Bioshock of that, working my way through the Assassin's Creed series, currently on Assassin's Creed 2, and I'm also playing through the series for the podcast games my mom found. By the time you see this, I should be working on Assassin's Creed 3 for the podcast. I'm also working my way through Control, working my way through the Indiana Jones franchise, currently on Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. I'm also working my way through the Shantae series, currently on Shantae Risky's Revenge. And a bunch of other things that premiere at 3 p.m. Eastern. Also at 10 a.m. Usually Tuesday through Saturday on a weekly basis, but who knows, by the time you see this recording I might have added a few more for a short time. I have videos that premiering. A Tuesday is usually reserved for fic readings, and I'm getting close to finishing those. I might be finished with those by the time you see this. For the time being. Wednesday is usually devoted to the first 7 Final Fantasy games, currently. Thursday is devoted to Dead by Daylight. Friday is usually devoted to fighting games, ladder or story mode. And Saturday is usually reserved for retrospectives for games or franchises I've beaten the story modes on. So, until next time, I would like you all to take care and have fun. Bye all!